Edward Snowden is vindicated by a court of appeals. Iran beat his papier-mâché chest. Kamala Harris made an oopsie by saying the quiet part out loud. And top Democrats are pushing anti-vax theories. Let's get into it. In 2011, Edward Snowden, a CIA contractor at the time, released a bunch of confidential information regarding the NSA's massive data collection. He leaked this information to journalists. Because of this, he was charged with espionage and had to flee, and he's exiled in Russia of all places. Now, this August, Trump toyed with the idea of pardoning Snowden, saying, hey, maybe he should come home. And I agree. Interestingly, this month, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the program that Snowden exposed was not only illegal, but it was also unconstitutional. Snowden said he felt vindicated by this ruling, and I gotta say, I agree. I think it's time for him to get pardoned, come home, get a Presidential Medal of Freedom, and Donald, why don't you just pardon the guy? You're gonna get a bump in the polls. Just do it, my orange brother. He didn't betray anybody. It was the government who betrayed the people. This is the government who betrayed the Constitution, not Snowden. He should be here. Moving on to Iran. Iran is upset that their top terrorist was burned to ashes by the American military. Iran is responding to retaliate by assassinating an American diplomat. Check it out.
Fox News is learning new details about Iran allegedly mulling over an attempt to assassinate America's ambassador to South Africa, Lana Marks. The plot revealed via a key intelligence stream known as the CIA Wire. Sources familiar with the report confirm the threat is credible, and intelligence agencies are taking it seriously. Multiple sources say this plot is just one of several Tehran is considering to retaliate against the U.S. for the January killing of Iran's top general, Qassem Soleimani, during a trip to Baghdad. Soleimani commanded Iran's elite Quds force, which the U.S. has designated a terrorist organization.
In response, my orange brother sent a couple of tweets, as he usually does. According to press reports, Iran may be planning an assassination or other attack against the United States in retaliation for the killing of terrorist leader Soleimani, which was carried out by his planning a future attack murdering U.S. troops, and the death and suffering caused over so many years. Any attack by Iran in any form against the United States will be met with an attack on Iran that will be 1,000 times greater in magnitude. Very nice, I like. Seriously, war is not nice, but I like when my president doesn't back down. Especially when there's threats of diplomats being assassinated. As we all know, Joe Biden is not fully there. Not fully competent. Looks a bit senile. When you look into his eyes, they look empty. Like he doesn't know where he is. And he also said that his presidency is a placeholder presidency. But I thought it would take a little while. I didn't expect him to step down immediately after winning the presidency or just before the election. But maybe that's what's going to happen if Trump doesn't win. Kamala Harris had a little Freudian slip. And maybe the truth came out. Check it out.
Need to make sure you have a president in the White House who actually sees you, who understands your needs, who understands the dignity of your work, and who has your back. A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the President of the United States, the Biden-Harris administration.
What do you think? Just a mistake or a sliver of truth? Comment down below. Lastly, top Democrats have been fear-mongering about a potential corona vaccine. Potential President Kamala Harris says she wouldn't trust the Trump vaccine.
I will say that I would not trust Donald Trump, and it would have to be a credible source of information that talks about the efficacy and the reliability of whatever he's talking about. I will not take his word for it. He wants us to inject bleach. No, I will not take his word.
Trump isn't making vaccines, though. It's like these people's Trump derangement syndrome got them so bad that they think he's out there at the CDC building vaccines. So that's not what's going on. I wouldn't trust a Trump vaccine. Are you crazy? Yes, you are. We also had Cal Cunningham, a guy who's probably going to become North Carolina senator this election, saying he wouldn't trust a Trump vaccine either and probably wouldn't take one until next year, aka until after the election.
Then I'll be standing in line.
Yes, I would be hesitant, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions. I think that's incumbent on all of us right now. In this environment, with the way we've seen politics intervening in Washington.
Trump, of course, didn't like this anti-vax rhetoric. It's dangerous. And he had this to say.
Under my leadership, we'll produce a vaccine in record time. Biden and his very liberal running mate, the most liberal person in Congress, by the way, is not a competent person, in my opinion, would destroy this country and would destroy this economy, should immediately apologize for the reckless anti-vaccine rhetoric that they are talking right now, talking about endangering lives, and it undermines science.
Can you imagine if the roles were reversed and it was a Republican presidential candidate that was saying these things about vaccines? Ay, ay, ay. Democrats claim to be in the party of science. They say that the wildfires are being caused by Trump ignoring climate change. They say that we should be socially distanced and have lockdowns unless we're protesting, because racism is the real virus that's gripping America. So let's summarize. Top Democrats are saying they wouldn't trust a corona vaccine, that Trump's denial of climate change is causing the wildfires, that we should be socially distanced unless we're protesting, because racism is a real virus gripping America. That's the party of science. Is it though? I hope you liked the video. If you like and subscribe, Edward Snowden will be pardoned. So do it. Ginger out.